How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Rising Oblivion. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the very first Persona 25th Anniversary project and why it's more than likely going to be Persona 4 Golden, coming to, PS4 and Switch, or it could also become an Xbox, just console in general, but why it's more than likely going to be jumping over to console. And we have a couple of different things that point towards this happening. This doesn't mean this is guaranteed by any means, but all of the arrows and all of the little Easter eggs and all of the little hints point towards Persona 4 Golden being the thing that they are trying to push for the very first project on the 25th anniversary of Persona. So let's first things first talk about the biggest piece of evidence that we have so far that have shown us why we think that Persona 4 Golden is going to be the first thing that we get here for the first project of the 25th anniversary of Persona. And I've talked about this in a couple other videos, but if you do go to the Persona 25th anniversary site, the very first project there, which does say it's going to be in September, so that means literally next month, it shows a yellow TV there that's sort of fuzzy, and that really gives us hints towards Persona 4 vibes with the TVs. You go through the TVs to reach the other, shadow world basically, and the TVs oftentimes represent that within Persona 4, and the fuzziness of the TVs as well. There's always that sort of vibe and that sort of trope going on, and there's other things that also hint towards this as well, and just how smart it actually is for them to try and push something like Persona 4 out there. Persona 4 Golden is known as being one of the most beloved Persona games within the whole franchise. And not only that is it a, beloved thing by the fans, but it is also a very successful game for them. Maybe not as successful as Persona 5 because, Persona 5 really took the company out of debt and did a lot for it, but Persona 4 has also been successful, but not only back when it released on the Vita with Golden and its initial release and everything, but also last year on Steam, with last year on Steam almost doubling the amount of sales Persona 4 had. It almost got as much as the Vita did already, which is pretty insane after just basically a year. Remember, that came out somewhere around June or July, so it's only been roughly about a year, and it almost hits what the Vita had already done all of those years ago. And that's the thing, it was on Steam, it wasn't even on something like the Switch or like on the PS4, so imagine what things could be like if they decided to bring this over to the PlayStation 4, for instance, or on the Switch. Atlus knows that this would do very successful going over to something like the Switch or like the PS4, just from the success that it has had from the PC player base and over on the Vita all those years ago, and of course the original, initial actual release on the PS2 and whatnot, but they know the success of this will do a whole lot. And not to mention, reaching out and branching to other platforms that have not been able to experience this game yet is also good as well. Getting the game to all of those Nintendo fanboys over on the Switch is also a very good idea. Sega has also been trying to branch out and put more of their games on other things. Think, for instance, Yakuza, how the Yakuza series jumped, pretty much has the entire catalog over on the Game Pass, which is pretty cool. I'm glad that they did that finally, and it seems like Persona 4 has been kind of a guinea pig when it comes to Persona stuff, jumping to other platforms and whatnot. SMT3 did a little bit of that, Strikers did a little bit as well, but Persona 4 was kind of the first one to do that, the first initial jump to having one of their Atlus games, one of the in-home IPs, jump to something else with Steam. Catherine did a long time ago, but it's just Catherine Classic, so we're just going to kind of look over that. But this was the initial big success for them from taking one of their IPs and making it go to somewhere that normally they hadn't before. Technically, if you want to consider it, Persona 4 Golden is the first successful Atlus game that has done well on PC or on a platform they traditionally don't really touch a lot. You have, SMT9, which did absolutely terrible on Xbox, but Persona 4 Golden has something special. Like I said, it's beloved by all the fans. It's considered to be one of the best entries basically within the whole Atlus catalog, which is, without a doubt, something I hold very near and dear to my heart, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. So it sort of makes sense as to why they are trying to push this game, and why this game is sort of a little bit of the guinea pig when it gets pushed around to other platforms, because they know how much people actually want to play this. So with all this evidence, with the little hints and Easter eggs that we have seen on the website, the success of Persona 4 Golden, how it's been kind of treated like a guinea pig, being the first ones to sort of jump to Steam and do very well, And, you know, they also did the jump to Vita with the game as well also. So even if you go further back, they kind of have done this stuff already with Persona 4. And Persona 4 Golden, like I said, a huge game. It's done successful so far, and it hasn't even been in the hands of the modern day consoles yet. So here's another point I also want to bring up as to why this is also good as well, and why it makes sense to also bring this stuff to something like the Switch and to something like the PS4, or potentially even maybe Xbox and stuff like that, with how Sega is trying to push more of their games like Yakuza and all these other IPs underneath them to other things like the Xbox Game Pass, and, you know, who knows, maybe even other stuff like the Ubisoft store. I have no idea. We'll see in the future, or Epic Games I meant to say, but you still get this, it's still practically the same thing. But moving more of this stuff over is a good thing. But not only that, we've seen sort of how poor the Persona 4 Golden worked on PC. It didn't do exactly the best, and Strikers kind of was a little bit buggy on the PC as well. It has nothing to do with PCs in general. It has something to do with how well they're ported over the PC. It took some time for them to fix Persona 4 Golden. I believe Strikers still has some issues, but they tried to fix a couple of those as well. But bringing these games over to the PS4 and over to the Switch, very similar button layouts, it's probably a little bit easier for them to try and bring these games over to there. I know that a lot of people who played SMT3 on the PS4 had no problems. So Persona 4 Golden coming over to the PS4 and over to the Switch is a very good idea, because we know how well it will run. These games should run and feel a little bit better on the console versions of it. I've never been a one to actually experience any issues playing Persona 4 Golden on the PC, but the thing about PCs is there's so many different alterations and sort of ways you can make them. You can have an AMD based one, you can have an Intel based one. There's a couple different things, some nuances that make it a little bit difficult for a person to port stuff to PC, because every single PC out there is different, for the most part anyway. Especially if you create and make your own PC and build it yourself, it's going to be a little bit different compared to the other guy's PC, which is why it can be a little bit harder to do that. When it comes to just the PS4 or just the Switch, it is a lot easier for them to make this and for them to do this. It makes sense from both a business standpoint, how well the game will run standpoint, and just flat out to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Persona by bringing one of their most beloved and sought after games over to, you know, platforms that everybody wants to play on. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. Do you think this is enough evidence to sort of support why we might think that in September we're going to be getting Persona 4 Golden on, I assume, these different platforms? Who knows? This could be something completely different, like a full-on remaster of Persona 4. Who knows? I would love to see something like that in the future. I think that would be super, super dope. A full-on remaster, like new models and everything, guys. That's like what I'm talking about here. Not just, oh, they upscaled it like they did with SMT3, but like flat out, brand new models, new environments, everything. That would be so cool to see. But I feel like it's more than likely just going to be something like a port, or maybe potentially what they did with SMT3 with like a little bit of an HD remaster. I would love that as well. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think would be more likely to happen? What do you think about all of these ideas? Do you think this is going to be the first project? Because that means basically this is just going to be something that we get first, you know, a month away. This is only a month away from us. We're already in August, so September, that's literally just next month. We are getting the first little bit of the Persona 5, or the Persona 25th anniversary stuff right here for us, which is super cool. I'm glad that we're getting that already. I'm super hyped about it. Let me know what you feel about this, guys. I'm going to have a little bit of a poll. If you haven't seen that already, go vote on my poll. Let's see what people are thinking, and make sure to like the video, subscribe for more content. Make sure to click the bell to be notified whenever I go live again. I've been doing some streaming here lately, doing my Persona 5 Royal Merciless run, which has been going along very smoothly. It's been lots of fun. I've also been streaming SMT3, and I will get back to streaming Persona 4 Golden on PC. But until next time, guys, I will keep you updated, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Oops, and sorry, one last little tidbit I did want to mention here, and that is there are pre-order sales and things already happening on the Atlus, you know, 25th anniversary Persona stuff here, where you can already start looking and pre-ordering some of the stuff for the 25th anniversary. Just thought you guys might want to know this. I'm not sure how it goes region-wise, how things are going to be happening, shipping, this, that, and the other. I'm just saying, it says that on the website. Thought this would be something to mention. I'm not paid by Atlus to say this or anything like that at all, but I just thought I'd mention it to you guys. It's a decent little bit of information, but like I said, see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.